see you, even if it's, oh, sorry, recording. Have you started?
Everybody, no, I'm going to do now.
Lucy. Lucy. Sorry.
We're back.
Yeah, well, you know, this is the thing, these authentic conversations, as we were just saying, raw, non-edited. I mean, in my case, everybody knows I don't know how to edit, so there's just that kind of thing, or we have to end up retaking again. 75 retakes later, here we are. I assure you it wasn't that. Lucy, first of all, thank you again for coming on my show. The last one was received really well. I've had so many inboxes. I think you have too, people messaging you. It was received in such great spirits. And I think I really enjoyed that conversation. You know, great minds think alike, or, you know, the whole energy of the show was really, really good. And we have a parallel story, and you shared some profound things with us, and yeah, so we've agreed to do this every week, or if not every week, every 2 weeks.
Whatever works.
If I remember, you know, we've got that issue there. I think the audience, my audience at least, is used to me. So yes, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me back. And I just want to say a huge thank you to all of your followers, because I've had so many messages, and although I've only looked at the comments on your video once, there was some absolutely incredible messages there. And it's just really beautiful that, you know, two women completely in their divine feminine can come together and literally just create this ripple through men and women that follow us both. So it's just really beautiful. So thank you for having me back. I'm grateful to you.
Yeah, no, it's just been since our last chat, I think I've had quite a journey, and as we were talking about, like, health being one of them, and you have helped me behind closed doors as well with our chats, and navigating through some of the things we spoke about last time, so thank you. And it does get you to think you can overcome anything. You know, I could easily have cancelled today or the other ones and just said, look, I'm not feeling in my optimum level of health. However, I feel that I'm divinely protected and divinely directed. And which is why this whole journey is the divine plan. It's trusting the divine plan, that everything is as it's supposed to be. And today, I believe you've got some nuggets of wisdom and downloads that you want to share with all of us. So I'm not going to hog. I'm going to let you. I might do, though. Just tell me, do not interrupt, Alpa. I have a habit of doing that, people. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I like it. I like our tangents.
Yeah.
So just before I go on anywhere, I'm just going to let everyone know I'm holding a hot cup, and I might drink from it every now and again because I'm actually fasting at the moment.
Yeah.
To your point of health, I make sure that I fast twice a year, every year.
Yeah.
And the reason that I do that is because I am not prepared to go back to sickness or dis-ease. So like we were speaking about just before, I'm happy to share everything that I did to heal my thyroid and other things in my body with you, so that you can cherry pick what you want to do if you want to do any of it, but it's just wisdom from somebody that's actually healed, you know. So that's why, if anyone's like, what is she doing, I'm just literally, I am so cold. It's day number 3 where I haven't eaten.
It's okay. It's like two friends having a coffee and everyone's partying privy to the conversation. I do that. I mean, I've stopped actually drinking on my shows, but like, you know, sometimes when it gets really, really cold, like it's just a comfort thing, you know. And it's just like coming over to a friend's house and having a cup of tea, and then just sharing a few nuggets of wisdom. I mean, people love it. Yeah, they do. They love the authenticity of it, the spirit of it. And look, it's not about fake hopium or, you know, leading anyone astray with that, especially with the geopolitical stuff, right? Like, don't want to really go on that today, but it's about like collaborating together with like-minded people. And if you find something resonates with you, then amazing, you know. And the intention is always just like, how do we overcome some of the inner battles that we're going through on a day-to-day basis during such precarious times? Are they precarious? Not if you look at them like that, But yes, I appreciate they are very testing and challenging times. At the same time, instrumental for our growth, instrumental for our spiritual growth, and instrumental on so many facets and levels. And you are going to share some of the amazing downloads you've had. So don't keep me waiting any longer.
No, I won't. And actually what you've just said there intuitively leads perfectly in, because everything that I'm going to share with you guys today is very much information that's been channeled to me about our Great Awakening. Okay, so not the Great Awakening, what's being perceived by, you know, all of the truth coming out. That is one part of it, but this is very much how we're going to grow spiritually. So literally the day after our video, I went out for a run and I just started channeling all of this information, and they gave me 4 clear areas which we need to step into and really represent if we want to have the Great Awakening. Okay, so I'm going to share those with you today, and I've actually written a couple of notes down, so if you see me just looking off in this direction, I've got a couple of notes so that I don't forget what I'm talking about.
Looking at the angels, we know.
Because I love tangents too.
You're looking at the angels. I know there's somebody there.
Well, thank you, because you've just given us synchronicity, which is something I'm going to talk about in a little bit. There's honestly, there is, you'll get goosebumps listening to this today, because there is just no ignoring what the universe is doing right now. So like I say, a couple of weeks ago, I was out running and I just all of a sudden started channeling this really important information, to the point I actually had to stop my run and put it in my phone. And I was given 4 clear areas. If people wish to awaken, there is 4 key areas that we need to acknowledge and we need to, you know, surrender to. The first one is truth. Now, I feel that with everything going on around the world right now, truth is like rattling all of us, okay? We are really being asked to level up and step into our truth, speak our truth, you know, look at certain things that are happening around the world and saying, right, does this feel real to me? Is there a potential that this could have happened, or is this a smoke screen? And I believe truth, tick. Like, we're there with the truth. Some people still have cognitive dissonance, that's okay, but they will start to have to recognize their truth. But these are 4 steps that everybody's going to have to step through. The second one is synchronicities. Okay, I'm going to go into much more detail in synchronicities in a little bit, because that's obviously what we spoke about in our last video. And I got that download of, we had to do this video on synchronicities. So, but what was interesting is I got told this had to come first. So these 4 items had to come first before I share the views on synchronicities. So I'm going to pass over that one, actually, because we're going to do a bit more on that. The next one is connection. Now, again, Alpa, what you said just a short time ago is a perfect example. We're collaborating. You know, Charlie literally reached out to me and you and said, you girls need to connect for some reason. So a synchronicity has brought us together, and look at what we're now doing. Look at the connection that we've got. Look at the, you know, the collaboration that we're doing. And it's so important, because throughout life we've been told you've got to be better, or you've got to be thinner, or you've got to be prettier, or you've got to be more muscly, or like, you know, there's all of these different things, and we've been taught to compete with each other, when actually the reality is this journey of the Great Awakening is about stepping back into a connection that you have with not only yourself but your fellow human beings.
Can I step in on that bit, please?
Of course.
I just want to jump in there. I am so appreciative of that, because this is something that baffled me throughout my life, right? Connection. And my mother used to say, oh, you know, you just love everybody. And she used to say it from a protective point of view. And I see that now. She said, bring home the strays. And one of my earlier childhood friends used to say, you just bring home everybody, because I used to just fall in love with people. And I think people are, they're just so unique. Everyone's got something unique to offer. And it's that connection that you draw, that sense of, like, you know, just that exuberance, that love. You know, I love sense of humor and just laughing all the time, and I find that really lifts my spirits and vibration up, you know. And no matter how much of a bad day I'm having or how poorly I feel, it's usually my sense of humor that navigates me back to a better place. That's just my way, yeah. Because, you know, I try not to take things too seriously, even though I'm wailing, like, you know, crying and having a mammoth pity party for 1 minute, and then afterwards I'm like, oh, it's all right now. You know, it's that release, right? And I think that what you've just said there about connections, I've always felt and observed how people connect, and why. And I thought about this today while I was in the park, and where is it and why is it that there would be something telling me, even though I loved that everybody and thought that there was something great, or maybe something that was telling me something, it's your inner compass that's always talking to you. But what the cabal have done is that whole divide and conquer thing, that it just brings people into that competitive state. So rather than actually ushering into that place of connection, we are taught to compete, and that whole I am not good enough syndrome. Therefore, you're looking at your friends, your social friends and colleagues in a way, not through the lenses of love and that compassion. I'm not speaking for everybody here, I'm just generalizing, but it's just almost like a default automatic way of like, I'm not good enough next to that person, or that person's better than me, or I've got to get, you know, the whatever. And I never understood that. I never understood that competitive streak. It's like, wow, Lucy, you've got something amazing to offer. Teach me, or can I add to that, or can I help you with that? Or, oh my God, just from a heart-centered space of true, authentic appreciation. And that is lacking. And this whole lockdown has further, you know, separated us from those connections.
Yeah, absolutely. And the most interesting thing about it is for as long as we can go back, think about it, we have literally been in a marketing machine.
Yeah.
You're not good enough. You need these these creams to get rid of your wrinkles. You need to take these pills to help you lose weight or grow your hair, or, you know, it's been a constant battle for us. You know, and I don't like to use that word, but it has been a constant battle for us. And that is why connection has become so thin. I was actually doing a video on it yesterday, and it's very interesting if you look back at the relationships that you've had and what you see.
Oh, that's happened a lot in this few months, hasn't it?
Absolutely. And I was actually looking at my relationship with my best friend. I was really giving it some thought, because we connected because we both split up with a partner. She'd split up with her husband and I'd split up with a partner at the time. And then we bonded over going out drinking and partying and having fun. And don't get me wrong, I'm not judging any of those things, but obviously now I don't drink and party. I don't see her.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's how we're connecting, and it's connecting on things that are similar with people. And I get that. And when you stop drinking, I stopped almost 3 years ago now. I usually am the life and soul of a party, because I love people and I love a party, and I still love a party. And I'm the last person first on the dance floor and the last one. Do you know what? My brother, when we used to go to Indian weddings, so you know how we're all like, just love our Indian dancing, and it's just great. If you haven't been to an Indian wedding, you have to go to one. But my brother used to get nervous. He'd be like, you know, seeing me like start shaking, and I just want to jump onto the dance floor, and he'd be going, no, no, stay. But when you're of that sort of spirit, and you like all of those things, I found that just because I stopped drinking, just because I stopped, you know, wanting to go out as often, you almost kind of lose those connections very quickly, because you're not off that same frequency with them. And another one is like, you know, this Zoom chats that I went on with some friends that all wanted to do like a shot for someone's, but I mean, it was insane, right? They were just like, come on, Alpa, drink, but then they know that I don't drink anymore. But that was the whole sole thing. Purpose was to get drunk.
Wow.
You know, this is the thing, and that's the whole thing with the partying culture, that come on, have a drink. The amount of people that told me when I stopped drinking, come on, you're going to start. And I did. I loved it. I loved my drinks. I said, love having a nice glass of wine. But it's nice, you know. What was it? Like Melbeck.
I liked Melbeck too.
Nice Melbeck. Well, I lived in South Africa for 5 years. I was home to some of the most finest wines in Cape Town. It was amazing. So yeah, we connect. So it's the sort of similarities that we have. What's the tricky part is that I could still go to parties and I can still be the last person on the dance floor. Well, at the moment, probably not, but I will still, you know, God loves a trier, and I'll still be one. Yeah. And I think that it's just the connection on not drinking, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
No, I think it's a great and a useful tangent for people, because what would normally happen, I mean, think about it, right? What do you get told at school? Oh, girls are just bitchy.
Yeah.
So instantly, before we've even grown up and found our own voice and everything, instantly it's like, well, no woman is going to support me on this journey, which is utter nonsense.
Yeah.
Absolute nonsense. And I don't know about you, but I actually had a lot of male friends for a very long time. I was so close with the guys.
Me too.
And it's over the last 5 years since I've gone on my healing journey that all of my guy friends have kind of like disintegrated, bar a couple. And I've got the most incredible female friends.
Yeah. I've got some, exactly. We share such parallel stories, 100%. Really, and it's just actually honoring other strong women. When I say strong, remember we spoke about this last time. It's not in an emasculated way. Right. Yeah. It's actually coming into our divine feminine power. Absolutely. The divine, and that is something I didn't get right. It's the same thing that you said. Most of my friends were male growing up at college. And the irony was that coming from quite a strict background, my mum didn't let me talk. I went to an all-girls school. I wasn't really allowed to have male friends. But when I went to college, I was in a mixed college and they had no choice. So I remember like my first male friend, it was a big drama. Like, you know, it wasn't a boyfriend or anything. It was just a really, really good friend of mine. And I had to, you know, come home and say, Mom, is it okay? I can speak to this guy. Like, can I be friends with him? Yeah, I know. And then thereafter, I just ended up hanging around with him and his friends, a bunch of guys. And I didn't understand why, but I think it goes back to what you said about somewhere we were taught that, you know, this whole cliquey girl group kind of thing, girls are bitchy vibe may have, you know, been drummed in our psychological makeup.
Absolutely. And it's what's great now is we're obviously starting to learn the truth on it. We're obviously starting to recognize that, oh, maybe that wasn't quite the way that we should have carried it through our lives, you know. And I know definitely, so there's no judgment on anybody else, because I know definitely I carried it through my life for a number of years. But that's what's important right now, is that people with any level of commonality are coming together if they're vibrationally right. You know, like you will meet those people, you will come together and you will create a new sisterhood or something like that, or brotherhood, based on those commonalities. So it's really important for us to recognize that connection is vital for this awakening. And the last thing that they gave me, point number 4, was karma. So we are going to be stepping through karma. And I don't know about you guys, but I've been recognizing this for the last few years. It's constant. If you do something, so for example, let me give you an example. Say for example, you're driving in your car and you're getting impatient and you're like, oh, get out of the way, mate, like put your foot down or get out of the way, or like whatever, you know. So you're putting that I have a lot of followers that are like, yeah, I'm really heavy footed on that when I drive loose. So it's a great example for them. And then later on in the day, or a couple of weeks down the line or something, you will be the person that is suffering or at the hands of somebody's impatience.
Yeah.
Because it's karma.
Well, so we've got truth, we've got connections, and then so
you've got truth, synchronicities. But we're going to go back to that one in detail.
Yeah.
Connection and karma.
Yeah. So with the last point, you're saying with karma, it's like the law of physics, cause and effect, isn't it? Yeah. And instantaneously, the universe supports you, but we don't realize it. So it's almost like saying, we're looking for support. Let's just say a wife is looking for support from her husband, and she's in a given situation, and she is so vying for him to give her that support. But that very moment, her best friend or a friend that she hasn't spoken to, or her mum or somebody calls, giving her that support. It's the ability to be able to see in gratitude to the universe that it's always supporting you, right? Yeah. So that instantaneous sort of support. Thing with karma as well is that, you know, it's, again, what goes around comes around, but do we truly understand it? It's schematics, how it works energetically, and we don't consciously think about it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're not consciously thinking about it. However, so true, because I can suffer road rage a little bit. I have calmed down. I'm working on my anger issues there. You know, it's like, move.
I think there's going to be many, many men and women around the world that can resonate with that, hun.
And I do apologize sincerely.
I used to be I used to be so angry in the car and so fast, you know, really, really fast. I always used to have to get everywhere super quick.
So quickly. That still, for me, still hasn't changed. It's like, I just love driving fast and slow.
But I feel, and maybe I'm going to get shot down for this, but I feel on motorways where nobody crosses the road, like you should be able to put your foot down. Like I truly believe that.
Yeah, but I love driving. I love driving, and I absolutely enjoy, you know, when I sit behind the wheel and I just feel free. I love listening to my music. I pretend I can sing. I can't, but you know, Kenzo really looks at me in disgust. It's just that look. It's just today I was trying it. I thought I might have improved a little bit, but it just it seriously just looks at me like that, you know.
I love it.
Yeah, but yeah, road rage something. Yeah, guilty.
Yeah,
guilty as anything. So I might have to go in the road rage jail.
Yeah, so just remember that you'll be calling in karma. It might be in a form of another anger. It might not come in somebody being impatient with your driving. It might come in another form, but it's constantly happening.
Right.
So I just want to touch on something that you've said about cause and effect, because I feel as we're stepping into more of a quantum environment, now it's actually coming from your belief.
Belief, right.
Yeah, I feel as if things are going to change over the coming years as we step into much more of a fifth dimensional frequency.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, because if you truly believe something right now, I believe that you can create the karma, or you can step through removing any karma that you've got to do with that situation, but also manifesting it very quickly.
Yeah.
And this is as we are leveling up into our fifth dimensional body.
The planetary alignments are supporting us now. Marge. Who's Marge? Mars. Marge. Auntie Marge. I don't know. This is that fennel tea I'm having today. Mom, did you put whiskey in it? I don't drink. Mars. There's no planetary. No one's going backwards. There's no planetary. I don't know what the hell I was saying. There's no planets going backwards, and the planetary alignments are supporting us as well, saying the bit that you were saying about our belief system, and there's so much positive energy at the moment going on, like even with the Schumann thing, you know, that chart that you see, the Schumann
resonance.
That's the one.
It's one of my favorite charts.
So one of my friends sent me that. She always sends me that. She's like, you know, Gillian, the weather lady, you know, she sends me the Schumann resonance report daily, and it's like, you know, tread with caution today. It's a little bit it's not there. It's like, okay,
when you endure hide.
I know, psychopath alert day today, you know. So but the shifts are unbelievable. I mean, can you feel them? Like, they're just crazy.
100%. 100%. I am. It's interesting because I actually said to my members, I think on Monday of this week, that the previous Thursday or Friday, my goodness, was there a huge shift. It was almost like they'd come over and cleared a load of the fog and then just thrown it out. It was just so interesting.
Wow. Did they leave some with me then? Is that what it was? Did they just land it on me?
Honestly. Maybe that's your karma.
Who
for
are they?
The car.
Who are they? Can you give me their number?
Yeah, we will. I'll get you their details.
But going back to this belief system, and I think that's a really good point you raised, because we are instantaneously manifesting. So it's very important during these times to take advantage of these new positive energies that are coming onto our planet, and that have been. It's like these light codes that actually synchronize with these synchronicities, and like through the numbers, etc. And we've all been given these light codes, and we all have the opportunity to really ascend. The question is, what is in store for us and our soul script? It's all free will, and we dictate that ultimately.
Exactly. And what is so beautiful now is that with all of this new energy that's coming into the planet, and, you know, like you just mentioned, the light codes, like people's DNA are being activated right now. As you sit and listen to this, you are getting activation codes that is upgrading your DNA. Our gifts are all coming online right now, and those 4 things that they gave me were essentially, when people nail this, all of their gifts are going to come online. They are literally going to be tingling. And what was interesting, the day after I channeled that information, I was doing another Instagram live. I tend to do a lot of Instagram lives, like when I'm out.
I know, they're great. I love them. I feel like it's like having breakfast with Lucy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
Every day.
it's true.
Every day.
I have a cup of tea, but great, good for you, darling. And it's just that exuberant spirit, you know, everyone like watching. This is it. You know, things are hard sometimes, and you know, things get confusing. We all feel like the lows and the challenges of this last year, but it's keeping in alignment with being in that spirit and doing the best, because that's work. You're working on yourself, you know. Yes, it's not easy. Yes, there's so many outside circumstances that are getting in the way, etc., etc. But it's having that mindset, having that spirit to come what may. I'm going to keep as much as I can, you know, here aligned, not everywhere.
Exactly. But also when we're doing this, like every time you do a video, every time I go on Instagram Live or do whatever, we're anchoring it into people so that they can remember that they have permission to be themselves. They have the permission to be sad, be grateful, but like, and that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, no judgment.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, I go on there like dripping in sweat, my hair everywhere, and I just know that my people love me because I am so authentic. Like I'm never going to be the person that is perfect, you know, because I just don't agree. I don't believe that it exists.
Yeah.
You know, it's not
perfectly perfect in an imperfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And bringing it to the surface so other people have the permission to do the same and love their flaws, you know.
That's just it. In this movement, you know, where people are really finding out who they are, they have had the opportunity to actually start discovering parts of themselves that they thought, wow. I spoke to this lady at a coffee shop yesterday outside the clinic I went to, and she just said, you know, I was so busy, and I hope she's watching because she subscribed yesterday. So
Aww.
The lady in Maida Vale in North London, near the coffee shop, and she was just saying, you know, for most of my life, it's just been go, 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 work, work, work. So I didn't have any time to think. So I asked her a simple question, like, now that you have had the time, how are you feeling? She's like, I'm discovering things about myself. You know, I've slowed down and I'm enjoying things outside. But before it was that, you know, get up, work, sleep cycle. And that's a lot of people are in that situation. And eventually I'm hoping that, you know, okay, fine, this whole online community of work and doing loads of businesses online, that's the way it's going. So people actually have more freedom to do the things that they want to do, as well as having a stable income coming in, you know, and doing that course, learning a new instrument, doing something that actually is soul lifting, and just discovering parts of yourself that you never thought were there.
Exactly. And that loops back to number one of the truth. Just because the truth is human trafficking and all the other stuff, it's the truth about you.
Yeah.
Like the truth is a big thing to cover.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Truth. Everyone's saying, you know, this is the truth, this is the truth. Truth is a huge subject.
And it's, you know, and it's from your own perspective.
Perception, yeah.
You know, like, I can't tell you that this is verbatim the truth unless I've lived it.
Yeah.
You know, now I know I have an inner knowing about everything that I've seen in the tunnels and all the other stuff about human trafficking. I've not experienced it. So am I entitled to talk about the truth? I can talk about it from my perspective.
Exactly.
You know, and this is what it's about. This isn't about, well, you're wrong and I'm right, because we've had two different experiences. This is about us coming together and saying, this is your truth, and I commend you for sharing it.
Yeah, yeah. And also there's the kind of moral compass here that, wow, this stuff is going on in the world. Let's all collaborate. Let's all unify and talk about it. But what happens is the ego gets in the way, because then it's when it gets into the geopolitical arena, that's when it gets, well, it's like, well, I just don't like this person. I just don't like that person. So it comes into the good, bad, you know, brackets of, well, he's good, he's bad, he's this, he's that. And the true connections, people are not aligning the real root of what's been going on. Ultimately, it is pedophilia within every establishment, all the stuff with the children, everything that's been going on our planet fundamentally connects it back to the root of the atrocities that have happened to children. And this is something that is hard for people to fathom because it's just too much. So the cognitive dissonance happens, but that is a truth that there is that going on. Yeah, we're hearing people's experiences firsthand. it's drawing conclusions to what people are saying. So, for example, we've had this conversation, don't want to go too much into it, but Lucy's saying something, she's evaluating, analyzing, and then speculating that, okay, upon all of the findings, I'm aligning with, yeah, such and such could possibly happen then, or this is the good guy, or this is someone that's of the light. But again, there's been so many twists and turns in this movement. We're having to constantly be a witness to everything that's happening. Just observe, not do nothing about it. Yeah, we're still carrying on raising the awareness of these subjects. But it's almost like, and I say this because I think I got so affected by everything in the first 3 months. I think it caught up with me, with my energy and everything afterwards. And I put my hands up. It's only self-inflicted. But now I've learned to separate that, you know, because it is a bit of a shock in the beginning, everything that happens. So it's learning the rhythm of your own soul, learning the rhythm of your own beat, and working with that and being okay with it, you know, and checking in with yourself regularly and owning it all.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. It's a beautiful journey, all of this. Like, it is such a beautiful journey. And if you think back to when you were working full time doing your mortgage, and I think back to when I was on the trading floor, could I have learned as much as I have in the last 12 months if the world hadn't stopped? The answer is no.
Yeah.
Some people have really invested in that time. I know that I'm one of those people. I know that you're one of those people. There are many people out there that have done. There are also many people that haven't. And we're not here to judge them. That's their truth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we need to own that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. So that's truth. And, I think people, are discovering their own self-truths. And I'm seeing that happen every single day. People are kind of moving away from that need to be right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
It is, because the sentiment has to be looked to. This is what's happening, like, without going too much into the geopolitical side. That's literally what's happening. Trump has had to step away. He's had to. This is purposeful, in my view, that, he's had to disconnect literally so that no one can pin anything down on him. The mainstream media still, like, the marketing activities and the advertising and everything's gone down since Trump is not in power, or allegedly not in power, because he is. It's all gone downhill, and they still can't stop talking about him. And post his speech on Sunday, it was just brilliant. It's like, he's a leader, right? And I said this in a post of mine, that, look, anyone looking to someone like Trump to save them, right, that's just going to backfire on you, because we need to learn to see what these people represent. He's a brilliant leader, and he is a great leader, but the only savior, there's no one that's your savior. You're your own savior in absolutely every corner and facet of your life. What we were speaking before we started recording, Lucy, was about my health, and I have to take ownership for that. And I have been, but yes, I will ask people to be directed. I have to do the relevant tests, and it is a journey. But if you are in the greatest of spirits, that journey becomes an enjoyable one, and being kind and what shall I say, like, just recognizing how you're feeling every single day. But again, who has the control over that? Me. If I sit and cry to you all the time saying, Lucy, I'm just feeling like this and I don't know what to do, and you're giving me advice, but I still don't act upon it, I just swallow like a whole Mars bar, and sugar's not good for me. I don't eat Mars bars because it's dairy, but like, before, sugar was my my little naughties. But look, and then it's all self-inflicted, isn't it? So going back to like leadership and savior, like, we are our own savior, but it's great to recognize strong, true leaders.
Yeah, and it's very old-fashioned, actually, to have somebody on a pedestal.
Yes,
like, it's very old-fashioned to do that. Like, none of us should be having anyone on pedestals now. We are our own God, and that's what we need to recognize. And that in turn will bring in the synchronicities and other things like that we need to experience.
Yeah.
So Do you want me to share some information on synchronicities?
Yes, please. That's
what
we want to go. So we're going to get into the juicy stuff as well. It's all been juicy.
I know, right? So we've spoken about the four subjects: truth, synchronicities, connection, and karma. I wanted to do more on the synchronicities because I think it's so important. You know, literally, if you look in the dictionary, synchronicity is meaningful coincidences.
Yeah.
I want to go further than that. You know, this is the universe speaking to us constantly. This is the universe saying, hey, babe, you might think you're having a bad day right now, but I'm going to give you this little sign. I'm going to throw this little carrot in front of you and see if you notice it. And most people, you know, that's why most people think it's a coincidence. Oh, well, what coincidence? I was feeling really down and now I've got these flowers come through the post or something like that. But it's synchronicities from the universe. The universe, like you were saying about your health, it is constantly talking to us. Doesn't matter what happens, you know, we are constantly getting messages. However, most of us are too busy to notice. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's only when you slow down and when you take your foot off the gas that you actually really start to recognize synchronicities. Now, why do you think the universe was stopped in March 2020? Why do you think that?
Oh, for the official lockdown, yeah.
Why do you think that happened? Because we had to pause humanity.
Yeah.
So humanity had no option but to stop and start to recognise the gold that we'd all forgotten about.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people out there, because I've spoken to them. I've had men reach out to me and say, oh my gosh, all I was focused on was work. Now I'm working from home. I get to spend time with my kids. I get to have some time with my wife. You know, I get to do this, I get to do that. And all of a sudden you start to appreciate what you've always had, but you've neglected.
Yeah. And
because you
see it. Yeah.
Okay. So we need to recognise that we have been dumbed down, and I don't mean to be rude, but we've all been dumbed down. So
it's like diluted. We've been diluted.
Absolutely. And it's basically our magic that's been diluted.
Yeah.
Because we are all magic. We are all a living miracle. Yeah, we are. And the thing is, we had to slow down to be able to bring our gifts online. So as I said, those 4 things that I channeled are really important for our human ascension.
I know, but they're brilliant. Yeah.
What happens off the back of that is, you know, we will start to see more synchronicities. And I'm going to give you a few examples. I know most people know what synchronicities are, but I don't question that this will probably fall into the hands of some people that are like, I don't know what a synchronicity is. So I've written a couple down. So bumping into an ex.
Yeah.
I was at Heathrow Airport, which is one of the busiest airports in the world. I was getting on a flight to Dubai to go and fly over there to do a speaking gig that I had. This was in February 2020, so just before lockdown. And I bumped into an ex-partner of mine who I was with for 6 years, getting on the same flight.
Wow.
Now, it was at that point I was like, okay, like I felt as if I'd done all the healing work with this relationship, but clearly not, because he's magically appeared in my life. He lives in Bournemouth. I live in Surrey, so we don't even live near each other, and we were getting on exactly the same plane to the same location. Now, how many flights go from London to Dubai a day? 100. Well, normally, back in the day.
Yeah. Right now, questionable.
Of any go these days, but you know, another great synchronicity is thinking of someone and then them calling you.
Yeah. Happens all the time, every day. That once a day without fail. Yeah.
And yesterday you said to me, oh my God, I was thinking about you 10 minutes ago. And that synchronicity, oh, Alpa's thinking of you, you now need to message her. I don't think that, but that's what's happening. The universe.
Funnily enough, on that point, I was thinking of like, let's have a structured show today, like, you know, with and I did. And then when you left me that voice note and said, right, well, you know, these are things, that's exactly what's happened. Manifesting immediately, the power of manifestation immediately. So yeah, this is just a testament to that.
Exactly. You know, sometimes you'll hear the words in a song. That's a synchronicity. Repeated experiences or repeated number sequences, which is, I know, something that you get a lot of. You know, seeing 222 everywhere, or 1111 or something like that. Like,
mine's 144 in everything.
144. Interesting.
All the time. I mean, 1111, that's just there. That's just, I just look up a receipt. That's just, I've got over that. But there's that 717, 144, and then I see the patterns, you know, 111, 222, 333. Look at our last chat. What is right? Like, you know, 11, like seriously, yeah. That one was
1 hour, 11 minutes and 11 seconds.
and that is like, now, how can I, like, honestly, not done, well, I didn't edit it. I don't know how to. And the last one I did with Charlie was 5:55 and 50 seconds. And that's me putting my intro in and then my outro. And it's just like, hello? I did not plan this. And here we go. Like, look at that. So many people commented on it.
Yeah, it's.
Can anybody see it? Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. It's a bit blurry, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. You can see it perfectly there. Yeah. But what's so interesting about it is do you remember that download that I got? Oh, we need to do synchronicities next time at the end of the video. And then
I never watched it. I can't remember what I say in these shows.
Yes, I remember saying it. I got this download that we had to talk about synchronicities, and then literally when you messaged me and you were like, wow, that was 1 hour, 11 minutes and 11 seconds. And I'm like, well, there's no surprise with that because the angels are just communicating. I want to share another one because angels know a lot today. I woke up this morning and channeling through me instantly was, I can't remember the words, your wings are ready. Your wings are ready. Literally, it was a message from the angelic realm that said, your wings are ready, right?
Ready, born ready.
I was like, okay, yeah, this is interesting because I feel as if I've been flying around the world with my angel wings for ages anyway, but here we go. Literally, when I switch my phone on, so I do a load of rituals. I don't have my phone on overnight. I do a load of rituals and then I put my phone on in the morning. Literally, you know, sometimes if you've got an iPhone, you'll get a photo pop up as a memory. Well, I had that this morning and it was a picture of angels from 2020. And I was like, well, that's fascinating. And then at 08:08 this morning, I just had my phone on Apple Music and a song that I've never heard of before came on and it was called Broken Angel.
Oh, yes. All that sort of stuff happens all the time. It's just beautiful. You see that you're going into the rhythm of that beat. It is beautiful. And you actually just start embracing it all the time and being grateful for those experiences. It's like every time I see a synchronicity, I put a meme up, but I really am like, wow. Wow. And it has happened 5 times already in the day. And I'm like, wow, again, there you are. Love you.
It never gets old though, right? It never, ever gets old. Like, honestly, I should be used to this by now. Literally, since 2017, I've lived my whole life on intuition and synchronicities. But even before that, I was doing the same for a couple of years before that. However, I will still be with someone and I'll be like, oh my God, this is so exciting, you know. Yeah, they're like, aren't you used to this by now? Like, you've ended up in the most weird and wonderful places. And I'm like, it will never grow old to me.
Yeah, because it's that enthusiasm and it's that just light, that exuberance that I keep saying. It's just that I love that exuberance in people, you know, that enthusiasm. Not because we're being eager beavers or anything, it's that appreciation, you know. I am too, right? You know, but no, it's, you know, that's said in jest as well, but it's just that enthusiasm and that appreciation, you know. I'm going to speak to Lucy again today.
I love it. Yeah,
I do know now why Charlie introduced us.
Well, when you were talking about being at a party, first on the dance floor, last on the dance floor, and like literally the life itself, that's me too. So yeah. I think if and when this event happens in Florida, we will be forced to
on our lemon juice or like lemon tea or green tea, you know, or elderberry juice or something like that.
All sounds good.
But of course, there needs to be some celebration, you know, there has to be through all of this. And yeah, I'm just really practicing my steps already. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone.
Getting our groove on. It's that time, isn't it? Honestly,
yeah. Oh, we know the crazy steps.
all I keep saying to people is I want to go dancing. Like, I want to go out dancing. I feel, you know, like there's something about the divine feminine flow in allowing your body to just be free. And we've kind of been cooped up, haven't we, for a while?
It's going to just be like a bunch of lunatic women just going,
Definitely that. So shall I give a few tips on how we can be open to receiving synchronicities.
Yeah, go ahead. I think the viewers
People
probably
often
really
say to
appreciate
me, whenever I share stuff, they're kind of like, yeah, but how? Yeah, but how? Yeah, but how? So I thought, right, I'm going to preempt the how question today. And below this video, if you've had recent synchronicities, drop it below so that we can check it out and see what's going on. Because I think it's really important to do that. What I was told this morning very clearly is by all of us coming together and sharing our synchronicities, the power will increase on that.
Right.
So what they did is they kind of showed me that we're coming together as a collective. As we share, let's rise that vibration up so it will become much more apparent to the people that are asleep.
222.
Yay!
1222.
Love that. 222 is my number. Love that. Good spot, my love. So thank you. So there's a few things that I just wanted to let you guys know. First and foremost, we must appreciate that we are all one. We are all one. I am you, you are me, the tree is me, anything conscious, we are all one of the same. When we can appreciate we are all one of the same, we can all connect. So like I just said about commenting below with your synchronicities or your signs or things that you see, we are then saying, okay, this is our tribe, this is our soul tribe coming together. And then what happens is the frequency comes up and then that catapults for everybody and there will be no ignoring it.
Absolutely.
There will be no ignoring it.
Well, I think that's very clear. Even my friends that are choosing to stay on the side of the alternative, the other rhetoric, not alternative, we're the alternative rhetoric, but the other mainstream rhetoric. They're on there. They've taken their vaccines, and they are, you know, the government loves us, and we're goodly, godly, tax-paying citizens, and you know, there is a really bad pandemic and we must do as we're told type of people that I know, and said with so much love. They do still message me and say, hey, 11/11 thought of you. Something's happening. It's beautiful. And this is said to them with no judgment. I absolutely love them. And one of the things on that point for everyone, which I thought about last night, was a download, and it's very powerful. At some point, all of us have been frustrated with this sort of resistance, this push-pull with friends, family. It's just, I'm done with the subject of that. However, I want to grow from it and help others, you know, maybe it might help them as well, is that when you're thinking of the person that has maybe given you a bit of resistance, or you're just at two different polarities. And what do we essentially want to do is we want to synthesize and synchronize those two polarities to come to neutrality. So the charge that's on our shoulders of anything is neutralized. Therefore, it doesn't feel weighted. Does that make sense? Yeah. So what is it that I did when it comes to some challenging moments with certain individuals in my life that test me, because they're your teachers? Yeah, they're all there to teach you. Everyone is there for you, to teach you in your soul script. Is that you can imagine like you've got a cord with them. Yeah, you've got that cord with them, and that cord, you're admitting beautiful gold light or beautiful white light to them, and then, you know, and thinking all the beautiful things that you want to send out to them, but cutting that cord eventually in all space and timelines and dimensions, so that you neutralize that charge it has on you, and all you're emitting is a very, very powerful technique. And we can talk about that another time, but it's sending out what you are inside. Yeah. So if you're just sending out that person true unconditional love, that doesn't mean you have to, I don't know, if you've fallen out with somebody, or you have to have them in your energetic space physically, but it's just omitting that frequency of love, you know. And this is where the confusion is, because again, we hop back into ego. So we're hopping back into sort of in out, like the hokey cokey with our ego. It's like always.
Most people don't really know love.
Yeah.
Or not we, but it's actually been demonized. Love has been demonized over the years. You know, oh, it's going to hurt you, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. When actually, love is a frequency that we can.
The answer.
Yeah. It no matter the question, it's the answer, right? And that is, you know, that's something that I always say.
I mean, I first used to think that I sound like, you know, a 70s like hippie chick saying love is the answer, right? But it's actually true. You know, you can neutralize anything. Like, look, there's a lot of serious things that have happened on our planet, and people are like, how do we employ love there? How? It's loving our inner child throughout all of this. you know, loving ourselves, our inner wounded child. And also we are looking at what's happening now, the power of now, right now in this space is all we have right now here. This is where I am right now. So that's what matters right now in this moment. And there's loads of books written about this. The Gita is just fundamentally about the power of now and detachment. Yeah. If you were to surmise that, the Bhagavad Gita in its essence is about attachment. Not, but you can be attached in a detached way, if that makes sense. Yeah. Whatever we come into this world with, we come in empty-handed and we die empty-handed. We collect experiences. Yeah. And it's this energetic like frequency that we are operating in all the time. And people, will they remember what you did? They'll remember how you made them feel when you leave them. They'll remember what mark you made by that sense from a heart-centered place. So this is the thing when you're interacting with people, this energy of push pull is your inner compass kind of telling you this frequency is for me, is not, is for me, is not, or where you are kind of like unsure, it's still speaking to you. You know, mine screams at me and I still don't get it sometimes. I mean, they've had to take me to like, you know, through the mud and back and just say, is she going to know now? Like, hello, Alpa. Same thing.
The guys' heads are hanging in shame.
Yeah, same thing's happened to you like 3,544 times. Like, we just give it, you know, 3,545 times. Will you then just listen? Yes, but she's lovely. But, you know, he's always prodding you. And that's your higher self, right? Your higher self is just poking you all the time.
Absolutely.
Through people, through experiences. So, yeah, synchronicities.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. A tip that I would recommend doing. So every morning when I wake up, I ask my guides, I ask the angels, I ask whoever supports me, like my support team, plus my higher self, every morning without fail, to bring me the synchronicities and also the people that, you know, and the experiences that humanity needs. Because we're communicators, we need to bring in experiences so that we can talk about it and normalize it for people. That's what I tend to do through my Instagram lives. Is I'll go to the supermarket, be challenged on wearing a mask. So I'll be like, okay, cool, I need to just, or not wearing a mask, more to the point, I will do a video on it and just be like, okay, this just happened and this is the way that I got through that. It's just some top tips for you. And then I get about 50 people messaging me saying, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I watched your video because that happened to me too, but I knew how to deal with it because you gave us the tips. So first and foremost, be mindful of what you're asking for though. I ask for information for humanity because I'm a communicator and I'm here to help you guys. So if you are bring me synchronicities or show me the signs that I'm going to meet the person of my dreams or I'm on the right path or whatever, it's just have that conversation with your guides, with your higher self, with your angels. And then literally one way that I feel that most people can tap into very, very easy is just close your eyes, take a huge deep breath in and literally just ask for a sign that the universe is listening to you, your higher self is listening to you. Now,
right, dear universe. Okay, so I didn't breathe. Okay. I'm gonna ask for something really silly. Please, when is Biden gonna come out of this? When are we gonna get that numpty out? Please, just put us out of our misery because he's just a complete.
He's trying our patience.
Is that okay? Was that the right way?
Perfect. However, there's a bit of a step on. A lot of people will, yeah, I know, but you can do it better next time. It's okay. Like you were doing the best you could. It's fine. So there's a little bit of a step on. Most people would say, breathe, you know, close your eyes, breathe, and then ask for a sign. I am like, meh, nah, it's not enough specific. I can't even say it. It's not specific for me.
Yeah.
So what I like to do is say, first and foremost, I would like a sign of a heart cloud in the sky by 4 p.m. this evening or by the time I get home or whatever. So I'm really specific in the signs that I ask for. Now, do not ask to see a heart in the sky if you're not going to leave your house for the day. Like, just don't do that, you know, just don't do that. I would pick something that also is not common. So I'm going to give you an example. I was with a girlfriend in Sydney, and we were having brunch one day, and literally we were talking about something to do with my twin flame, and I was like, okay, like, I'm done with this. I just need to have a sign. Now, it was freezing cold in Sydney. Believe it or not, it gets cold there. For anybody that's like, Sydney's just always hot. It's actually not. And I said, okay, well, what's the least thing that we are going to see now? I said, you pick the sign for me and I'll ask for it. And she said, well, no one will see a butterfly in Sydney in the winter. And I was like, okay, cool. Because I like to challenge. I like to, you know, I like to be like, are you really working with me right now? So I did that within, literally, I put it out there. I was like, okay, show me a universe. Show me a butterfly if this is what's going to happen. And I gave the scenario, and I would really like it by, I think I gave the time of 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Within, no word of a lie, because my girlfriend's jaw hit the ground. Within 60 seconds, somebody had come and put a butterfly on our table in the restaurant.
Oh.
I don't mean a literal butterfly, it was on a book or something like that. And she was just like, oh my goodness, that's the power, but you have to ask.
Yeah. Ask and you shall receive. Now, you see, thing is, I tried to ask for the man of my dreams for a long time. And I wasn't specific.
Actually, you've just really brought something into me by saying that. So thank you for saying that. That's really, really helpful. What we need to be doing now is to get the results we want very, very quickly. What I've recognized is, because I would love to meet the man of my dreams too, Alpa. And I, for a long time, I was like, yeah, or bring in my twin flame, or do whatever you need to do, but just hurry up there. But then what I recognized is that's not the highest vibrational frequency. So we need to go higher.
Yeah, and just sorry, jump in there, because you see, the thing is, and I don't just say that in a jovial sense, yes. And the thing with that is, I recognize for myself is when I had my last relationship and why that came to an end, it was the greatest lesson and catalyst. And I have enormous love for this person and that experience, because it ushered me into the most powerful, like, way of being, to own self. Yeah. And at that time, I didn't recognize that. I didn't recognize what I was like in that relationship. And I seldomly talk about these things publicly, but just as a matter of perspective to the point and context to what we're saying, is that I can so see now myself as a witness in that situation, and really thank my higher self, his higher self, and just thank that whole situation for it ushering me to where I am now. And I don't think, with my hand on my heart, that had we been together, would I have been as open about what was going on with you know, all the corruption and everything. There would have been a lot more questioning. Why is that? Because just of knowing the nature of this type, that he was very, very left brain, very logic back and stuff like that. So, you know, it's almost like the universe, those relationships that didn't work out, be it platonic, be it friends, family, whatever, on that side of the fence, I'm sure that people more and more every single day are seeing the reason, the rationale behind why it didn't work out, as painful as the experience is. And a very good friend of mine the other day, you know, we speak every day, and these new soul tribes that we are attracting and speaking to, I was speaking about the inner child wounding, and at a subconscious level, that this is what we all need to, when we say going inside, there's a very powerful technique that I think did I speak about this, you know, on our last one. Anyway, who knows? It's about like really holding space for each stage of our inner child. So be it the 2-year-old, be it the 4-year-old, be it the 5-year-old, and coming in contact with them and actually being you as you are now, and actually having a conversation with your 2-year self or 3-year self, and trying to depict where, you know, where some of these wounds come from. And we don't necessarily know it at a conscious level. And it's such a powerful technique. It really, really is. And she said to me, Alpa, like, oh my God, there was so much purging that needed to come up, because she went on in her life consciously thinking that, oh, I'm doing the work, I'm okay. There's layers to this. There's so many layers to this. And we don't have that manual where we've got it all right, where we know it all. And that's the same that applies with this movement. How much of it do we truly know firsthand? And this is what history is about. It's recycled stories, other people's stories. So this is why it is even more important at a time like this, that we connect with self, higher self, and our truth, so that we're empowered to be the most exuberant spirit and the best version of ourselves that we can be, without all these corny, cheesy, like lines thrown at us and, you know, we're falling flat on our face. Some of these commercial motivational courses and things like that, do they teach you to go inside as such, you know, really handle that rawness within you? And it's not easy. It really isn't. But once you kind of overcome that and overcome that, knowing that every single person, that even people who write comments on these shows, some are really bad. So I have to sit there and say, is this triggering me, or is this just like funny? Yeah. I'd say probably the latter most of the time, but a couple of times, as you know, in recent movements or moments, there has been triggering moments, and I had to question why. And once I realized, you just neutralize the charge it has on you. So this is it. So we're progressively learning every single day. And when you take away the pressure and you're just kind to yourself, yeah, you know, just give yourself a little bit of a hug and a kiss. I kiss my biceps. It's okay. So yeah. So anyway.
Self-love is the answer to all of this.
Join Lucy's self-love club. That is the answer.
Yeah, it is.
You guys just want to make money. Look at you, you fraud.
Self-love genuinely is the answer to everything, though. It's how you awaken. It's how you step into your truth. It's how you'll start to see these synchronicities a lot more than you've ever seen them. So I just, you know, for me personally, start to recognize, start to put the comments, you know, let Alpa know, let me know, I'll check in and have a little look as well, because I'd really like to see them, you know, and just think back, when was the last time that you were like, whoa, I was thinking about that, and then that just happened. You know, once you awaken to it, once you start connecting with it, and once all of you gorgeous people are commenting below, like, the consciousness on that subject is going to increase. So this is why it was so important to speak about this today.
No, it was, and it was brilliant, Lucy. Thank you very much, guys. If you've enjoyed this, please like, share, and all that jazz. I don't ever actually say that normally, but I think this will help a lot of people. It's two of us that, again, just mates having a coffee together on a Wednesday morning. And yeah, I do enjoy this. And also, if just before we go, if there are any suggestions of things that you'd like Lucy to talk about as well, Lucy and I to speak to, you know, I speak with Melke every Friday as well about the sort of political side of things. I love this synergy that we have, Lucy. I mean, we have, that was a great synchronicity to connect. And again, true testament to that, in proof that our first show was my favorite numbers. 1 1 1 1 1. So it's brilliant. So should we have the eyes to see it? I'm sure people are right now. Thank you, Lucy. Until next time, I am sending you so much love, and everybody, bye-bye.
Thanks for having me. See you guys.